So it's Tuesday, August 13th, and the First Descendant rolled out Hotfix 1.0.7. And this one's going to have a lot of quality of life changes. I think some of these you're gonna dig. Let's get into it.
Let's do this!
So these rolled out overnight on Tuesday, 8/13, and they were maintenance free, so the servers weren't down. This happened at midnight, so you may not even have noticed, but there will be a download associated with it. They did let us know what was coming down the road a few days ago, so this is relatively consistent with that. Guess who? Coming soon, the new Descendant is armed with Cold Fury and ready to strike. What do you think is her greatest strategy? I think there's some hints here. One, it's a female, and two, it's a sniper. Who do you think that is? People were hoping for a certain Descendant that you can interact with to be usable. Is it her? But also there's some key words in here. This Descendant is armed with Cold Fury and ready to strike. Do you think she has some ice power similar to Viessa, but more weapon orientated, like a sniper Snow Queen? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are here. Content improvement. If you do not select abort or continue during an interim review in special ops, abort will be selected automatically. So this is that screen where you're allowed to choose whether you want to stick around or not at each wave phase. If you don't click continue, it's going to boot you automatically. So it's trying to eliminate some AFK stuff there, I figure. So they lowered the difficulty of mechanics in the hard intercept battle Frost Walker. Destroying frenzied parts will now generate 2 embers. They increase the maximum threshold at the frenzy gauge, reducing the number of times the colossal becomes frenzy. That's good, because his frenzy is really annoying, right? He kind of gets choppy feet. Next thing they did is when using slug shots to frenzied Colossus, its leg movements will be reduced, making it easier to aim at its weak points. But what's interesting here is they said Colossus to frenzied Colossus. It's almost like they made this effective for every Colossus. We'll have to see. Interesting. So here it says characters will no longer receive damage when they are in a hazardous area once the void intercept battle ends. So for example, if you killed an enemy over the lava lake, you would go there to pick up your stuff and receive damage. So they fixed that. So you're going to be immune to damage. That was really annoying because sometimes you have to be careful. So when Molten Fortress is defeated, the lava on the ground is now removed immediately. Basically same thing with Swamp Walker. So you would put down the poison. So the disease status effect is now removed immediately as well. So the restart function of void intercept battles, special ops, and infiltration operations is now separated into 2 types. So you can start with the current squad and restart mission. And they increase the time available to start with the current squad to 60 seconds. So that's nice. I'm assuming this just means on fail. I suspect this doesn't mean you can replay the same boss upon completion. So the display animation for amorphous materials when using a reconstructed device has been simplified, letting you quickly check the materials. I'm curious about that one. Let's go check that one out. So it's supposed to be simplified. So looks sort of the same, except I like the green animation. I don't think that was there. So now what? It looks kind of the same to me. What's different to you? I mean, it's prettier. In the Echo Swamp Derelict Covert, Void Fragment toxic monsters will now spawn faster. Oh, that's great. Let me show you what they're talking about. This was actually a pain in the butt. So if you go to Echo Swamp here, we'll just do it at a high level. So this is actually a really good location here in Derelict. So this outpost is a really good farm. It's super fast. The boss is just right here, the Void Reactor boss, who's a pain in the butt, by the way. And then the shards you need can be farmed right here. The problem was this shard farm was like forever. It took forever to do this. It was painful. They made this one faster. So that's good news because it's actually a really good farm. If you haven't farmed this sector of the map, totally do it. The HP of monsters in reactor fights has been reduced, and they will now drop more ammo and recovery orbs when you defeat them. Oh, that's sort of great news. I don't know what you think. I mean, when your builds are at endgame mode, like tippity top, then their HP isn't that big of a deal. There are some very difficult bosses out there. They're here and there though. So it's gonna help you on those for soloing, but for group, it didn't really need a change. Most groups were able to take these out. There are a few like stealthy ninja ones, like that Echo Swamp monster, that is extremely hard even in group. But it was feasible. So I'm a little on the fence on whether I like the HP thing, but for the majority of the player base, that's really gonna help you as you're coming up. Because there are some void reactors that you just can't avoid because they're hosting the pattern or the item that you need to continue on your project. So it's probably good for that, because in public servers, there might not be anybody there for you to group up with to take down those bosses. So you might have to do those solo. And I think that's why this is a good decision, because not everybody's builds are at super ultra loaded up. But more importantly, they're now dropping more ammo, because if you're farming that reactor and doing it over and over again, it was really annoying to have to keep going back to the outposts to get more ammo. So it's good that they're dropping that. UI and user experience. So when selecting all additional options in hard infiltration operations, all the options will remain selected even if you change the additional options. You know what it's talking about? Have you interacted with those? Let's go look at one real quick. Okay, so it's talking about this, which is only for private parties, right? So before, you'd have to select all of these to see what your values were. And then when you re-rolled them to get something different, because you wanted to push over 200, for example, it would uncheck all those boxes. But now they stay checked so you can see the value. And we got a good roll here at 230%. So that is so much better, because before you had to keep clicking this, click that, and click this. There's more good news around this. So they say here the grappling hook disabled and jump disabled options from this list has been removed. And that is superb news. So yeah, before, the grappling hook disabled and jumping disabled were in this list. And there were some missions that you would get stuck on because you had to jump over something and you just couldn't do it. So you'd have to start the whole mission over, and you spent gold for that. Not everybody has these missions memorized. Remember, those two options would show up a lot on the kill score values that you needed. So if you were shooting for something over 200, you would always get the grappling hook and the jump one. And it was difficult to find a series of options that you were willing to accept. I mean, there were times I would sit here and roll and roll and roll. And after a while, I was like, screw it, I'm going with no jump. Let's see what else. You can now check the tooltip of amorphous material icons in the change selectable reward screen in hard infiltration operations. So I'm guessing it's talking about this. I mean, what else is it talking about? Yeah, that's my best guess. Maybe it wasn't working before. So it says tooltips for equipment now show up faster. That's great. Equipment option tiers are now displayed on the icon. I think it's talking about the little color dots down here, which is new. So we have two purples here. We have a yellow and a purple there, and a yellow and a blue and stuff like that. They also added these icons, and I'm sure they'll mention that in the notes, but you can see that this is electric and then this is fusion. Better than what we had before. Set effects for external components are now displayed on the icon. Yep, we just talked about that. So in the module acquisition info, you can now check whether a module can be acquired via combining. The modules that can only be acquired via combining are hardline suppression, shot focus, and shield collector. So let's go to shot focus and see if it says that. And it says here, available only by combining modules. So before, this was just blank. There was just nothing there, or it said unknown or something like that. In the consumables menu of the library, you can now see the amount of consumables you currently have. And now there's the quantity right there. Extremely helpful on the amorphous materials. So as you can see, they put a little number down there now. So before you had to click in there, super helpful, because you can see I've been stacking up on a lot of 122s. So if you want to go farm a boss for a while, there you go. Look, I got 33 of these. Yikes.
Let's do this!
When receiving all lost and found items, if there is not enough inventory space, you can now only receive items in according to the remaining space. I really don't know what they're saying there. Isn't that what we had before? If you can only get 50 items, then you can only get 50 items. I don't understand what they're saying here. Let me know if you have a better idea than I do. When the unique abilities of an ultimate weapon permanently change the weapon's default performance, you can now check the changes on the basic info screen. Let's see if we can discover what that means. Maybe they're talking about this basic info. Oh, I think they were talking about these. Oh, that is better. Are they also talking about this? Was this there before? I don't remember now, but this might be part of that new change. All right, so there's some changes to Descendant. So they fixed the amount of recovery displayed on the skill tooltip of Eugen so that it matches the improvements made to his recovery amount in Hotfix 1.0.7. I don't have Eugen to visualize this information, so sorry about that. By overhauling the formula of Eugen's recovery skill, the amount of recovery has been slightly increased for skill level 4. And you can now gain weapon proficiency when you defeat an enemy with a unique weapon. For example, Luna's stage presence or Viessa's ultimate weapon, her number 4. And you can now acquire Luna's noise surge modification module in the hard intercept battle executioner. That's the first hard boss, so convenient. Console improved AMD frame gen, changed the name of support droid to support drone. And then there were some bug fixes. Now on console, they fixed an issue where the Peacemaker did not show up in the weapon material research auto search. And they also fixed an issue where searching fire, chill, and electric with auto suggestions for Descendant modules also filtered other attributes. Descendants, they fixed an issue where Bunny's throw bomb skill did not hit nearby enemies when she was equipped with high voltage. Bunny lovers will appreciate that. Fixed an issue where Luna danced while holding her gun when she used an enhanced skill with the noise surge module. Don't know what that means, but kind of sounded fun. Fixed an issue where Luna's facial graphics were intermittently rendered incorrectly. What was she doing, frowning? They fixed an issue where Sharon could cancel her skill even after she fired her flash short sword skill during ending motions. Fixed an issue where equipping a range module would not change the skill description for Ultimate Lepic and Lepic's traction grenade. Okay, that would have been frustrating. It would have looked like it wasn't helping at all. You should be able to see those results. They fixed an issue where equipping a range module would not expand the effective Lepic's traction grenade. So it wasn't working. So now it's working. Equipment modules fixed an issue where the display of firearm critical hit rate was switched with critical hit rate in the 4-piece set effect tooltip for external component Acrobat set effects. They're talking about this gear set, and I happen to be running it on my Sharon, and I choose this over the ultimate options because of how I have my Sharon built. So I have her rolled into crits, and so if you see here on my build, I have 95.5% crit chance on it, and the damage is strong enough to one-tap everything. And because she's invisible so much, she hardly takes any damage. If she does, she recovers from it quite easily. So I don't need the added defensive values from an ultimate gear set. Instead, I choose the close to what can be a guaranteed crit. Nothing's guaranteed in this game, but we're about as close to it as it can be. What they're talking about in their change is at the very bottom, the 4-set bonus. It used to be flip-flopped, and now it's firearm crit rate at 21% and skill crit rate at 5.9%. And so this is just a straight up 21% for running 4-piece. And then you're getting other benefits too, including firearm attack and whatever. So that's a lovely change. And it made this set differentiated. So of course, this isn't going to be awesome for every character and every build, but for Sharon, who doesn't take much damage, but deals excellent power to get close to a guarantee on that damage, this might be a nice thing. Fix an issue in intercept battles where 2 players could remove parts at the same time when using the mid-air maneuvering. People were getting clever. Right on. In the field, fix an issue where a support drone in the Echo Swamp outpost did not function properly. Hope that helps some people. Fix an issue where Void Fragment reward that let you receive all 4 kinds of shards was changed from 433 to 3333. Really? That one thing? They just had to change it? Whatever, right? Fix an issue in the laboratory where effects activated when defeating an enemy, skills or unique effects for ultimate weapons, could still occur even when Vulgus invincibility was enabled. Basically, the on-kill stuff was happening. You need the enemy to not be invincible for that to take effect. I guess that makes sense. Okay, I get it. Missions. Fixed an issue where being tasked with collection for the fortress infiltration operations, quarantine zone, and heart of the fortress with a 4-member party could intermittently cause a champion monster to not spawn, making it impossible to acquire the balanced plasma battery. Yes, I was actually experiencing this the other day. I was baffled. So there was actually a bug there. I thought I was just losing my mind. Increase the monster kill score for the infiltration ops, the Haven. Fix an issue where it was impossible to reach a perfect score even when increasing options to 240. Good news. Fix an issue in hard infiltration operation unknown laboratory where a player reaching a no resurrection zone in advance could cause other players to not be teleported to the no resurrection zone. I had that issue and it was painful. I saw it the other day too. Somebody else had the same issue while I was playing. You get stuck on the other side of the door and you can't get in, and you were wandering and you're wandering. And then we went down against that boss. There was 3 of us total. So 2 of us went down inside the room and the other person was outside the room. They had no way to kill themselves or teleport in to resurrect us. And because we were in hard mode, we couldn't give up and start over. We had to reset the whole mission. But because we were down, we couldn't reset the whole mission. I had to quit the game. Oh my god, that was such a pain. So they fixed that. Yay! Fix an issue where a melee enemy would intermittently stop moving and not pursue players. Helpful. Fix an issue where using a certain skill would glitch the screen when the NVIDIA Reflex Boost mode was enabled. All right, PC people. Hopefully there was some good news in there for your gameplay. Thank you for hanging out with me. My name is Tuxedo Bandido. That's Tito Bandido.
One and only.
And this was another episode of The First Descendant. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss out on the fantastic experiences waiting for you in The First Descendant. And if you like videos like this, check out the one I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you want to see covered, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make everything possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be without you.
When you buy or download anything for The First Descendant, be sure to use Tux's creator code to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Follow me.
I get it.